All right, YouTube. What we have here today is I believe this is the Polish FEGAP 7650. I don't know if I get that to focus there. Yeah, it's the Polish knockoff of the Russian knockoff of the Walter, I believe PPK, and not a bad gun. I got this thing pretty cheap. I think ended up paying just over $200 for it actually. Um, Not bad. Polish police issue, I believe, as you can kind of tell there. Let's see if I can get it to do it again. Kind of saddle worn, holster worn. I'm sorry. On this one side here, if you flip it over though, not too badly worn out, apart from the action. See, yeah, not too bad. Pretty solid little gun. Let me close the action here for you. Yeah, we did a safety check. It's completely empty, no magazine, no rounds in the chamber. Yeah, couple things. This being a $200 gun, you got some pretty cheap sights there. I mean, it's just basic, very basic. They're kind of hard to use because they're so small, but it shoots straight. Now, this also being a $200 gun, it's kind of hard to pull the trigger in double action. I don't know if you can see that, but oh, well, the safety's on, obviously. But even then, it's a pretty heavy trigger pull, well over 5 pounds. Single action, though, it's actually not a bad trigger in single action. Apart from that, the safety, pretty difficult to use. I've taken this apart a couple times and cleaned it out really, really well, lubricated it really, really well. And you kind of have to do that every single time that you shoot it to be able to use that safety because it's pretty stiff. Also, the mag release. I don't know if you see that there. It's a pretty toughie, also. But I mean, what do you expect for a $200 gun? 32 ACP. I don't know the caliber in European 7.65 millimeter. Nice cheap round. It's a pretty decent round. I mean, it'll do the job. I believe the lowest they say for personal defense is a 38, but I mean, if you pop someone with a 32, they're probably not gonna they're gonna think twice about whatever they're doing. Couple things about it. Parts are kind of hard to get for it. Magazines. This is one of the magazines here, and it's only actually like a 6 or 7 round magazine. If you put too many more in there, it looks like it should take a lot more, but if you took too many more in there, it won't feed. That has to do with the magazines being kind of shitty, and also, I guess it was just made for 6 rounds. Those are really expensive. This is like a $40, $60 bill, somewhere around there if you get one online. The place I ordered it from came with 2, which was awesome. So I was pretty happy with that. Let's see. Yeah, like I said, there is a trigger job that you can do for this thing, so the double action isn't so wicked because it's a pretty hard trigger. If you want to do it slow, it's a pretty hard trigger pull. Apart from that, holsters, not terribly hard. You can use the Walter, the Makarov holsters. They work pretty well. There's not a lot of interchangeable parts on it, though. You can't really interchange it with the Walter or the Makarov. It just won't. They won't work. Really easy to disassemble, actually. I'm not going to actually take it apart because low production value. I have to use one hand to hold camera. But yeah, you pull down this trigger guard here and pull slide back, and it's out of there. So not a bad gun if you're gonna spend that kind of money. I'm sure there's other options that you can get out there, but for $200, a nice small concealable 32, it's solid. I mean, you could bust nuts with this thing. Walnuts, not people nuts. It's a good, solid feeling gun. Everything fits pretty tight and right. I mean, there's no wobbles or anything. Shoots real straight. If you're, a decent shot, you don't really need to use the sights that much. I mean, for home defense, self-defense, you're really not going to be looking down the sights, so that's not that big of an issue for me. I've carried it. It conceals well. It's heavy, uh, so you feel it. But I mean, apart from that, $200, not a bad gun. If you have any questions, by all means, lay them on me. I'd be happy to answer them for some of you people that might be thinking about this for a first gun or just a concealed gun or just something to play around with. Some of you guys might like these things. They're pretty interesting, actually. I was going to Duracoat it, but you know, I kind of like this wear and tear look that it's got on it. It's kind of growing on me. So might end up Duracoating it. If I do, I'll definitely do a video of that for you. Anyone who's looking into doing that. There's probably a million better videos out there on YouTube of people doing a much better job, but I'll still give it a go. Wanted to do this video just because you don't see a whole lot of these FEG AP 7650 videos out there. They, I guess they made a whole lot of them, but it's not that well known of a gun, I suppose. So, yeah, if you have any questions, if you have any problems, let me know. I'd be happy to answer them for you. I had a lot of trouble operating the magazine. I couldn't do it with two hands when I first got it. I operated the safety. I accidentally put the safety on, and I could not, for the life of me, flip it off again. And it took me two hands, and I had to actually vise the gun down. And I had to pull it apart and give it a really good cleaning. Literally pull everything apart, and so. Yeah, that's one little thing. If you end up getting one of these, prepare for that. You might get lucky and not have that problem. So, yeah, FEG AP 7650, not a bad little gun.